It was a clean sheet of paper for Gabriel Piana, Michael Schrey at the season opener at Oschersleben for the ADAC GT4 Germany. But we gather here under sunny skies at the Lausitzring for round two, and it's going to be an altogether trickier task. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to this round two of the season. 12 races in the 2024 season for ADAC GT4 Germany. A very entertaining races 1 and 2 at Oschersleben at the end of April. It was 2 wins, back-to-back wins, quite rare for the 2021 champions, Gabriel Piana and Michael Schrey. But here at the Lausitzring, it is Gabriel Piana who's qualified, and he starts in 5th place. He actually qualified in 3rd, but received a 2-place grid drop as a result of failing to slow under an earlier full course yellow. The pole sitter for this race 3 of the season is the driver, one of the drivers who won the 2nd race this event last year. It was in August at the Lausitzring that Mark Di Fulgenzio, then with Dennis Bulatov, won race 2 of the season. He's qualified on pole position for this race today, the first of 2 races this weekend. But he has the very rapid and very impressive Simon Birch. Razzoon More Than Racing in the Porsche alongside. They are a local team to here at the Lausitzring. It is a glorious sunny day. We've had a lot of rain yesterday, but today has broken bright and sunny, and we are really looking forward to this. We have a camera pointing at our pole sitter, Mark Di Fulgenzio, in the BWT MX Motorsport Mercedes. The cars starting their formation lap here at the Lausitzring, a circuit that is 3.478 kilometers around with 12 turns, 7 to the left and 5 to the right. Let's take a look at that grid, and it is Mark Di Fulgenzio for BWT MX Motorsport on pole position. Simon Birch, the 17-year-old Dane driver, alongside Jan Philip Springer, always quick, and the very impressive Matis Plushkel line up on row 2 ahead of championship leader Gabriel Piana and Adrian Rushny. Good qualifying, another of the very rapid Razzoon cars. Josef Knott being quick all week long, and even Eccleshit. Keep an eye on both of them. Max Kronberg and Diego Stifter on row 5 of the grid, and on row 6 it's Leighton Fury. They were good at Oschersleben, along with Max Rosam and Emil Gjerdrum. A good qualifying from him. Tano Neumann, Andreas Jochimsen on row 7 of the grid, then row 8, Leon Wasserthurer and Marcus Eicheler for ME Motorsport. Philip Gogolok in the lone Aston Martin has Tom Edgar from the UK for company, and Niels Truger and Philip Dietrich line up on row 10. On row 11, Matthias Salonen and Mo Ritson had all sorts of problems in qualifying, as was the case with Thomas Gore, the Jamaican driver who had a bit of a fire in the car earlier on this weekend, and they've had to work quite hard to get it back together. There is the championship point standings as we come into this event, but there is going to be an hour of racing ahead of us. You could see Mark Di Fulgenzio lining himself up alongside Simon Birch, getting ready for the start of this race. Yeah, an awful lot to play for here. Gabriel Piana, an altogether different situation to what he had in the opening round of the season. He's going to have to work his way through the traffic. Philip Gogolok in the Aston Martin, he's got a bit of work to do there. The car that is co-prepared by Zach Speed. Great to have them back on the grid in the ADAC GT4 Germany. The safety car peels off into the pit lane. We are getting ready for race 3 of the season for the ADAC GT4 Germany, and we are go. And it's Simon Birch who slots in behind Mark Di Fulgenzio into the very tight turn 1. Di Fulgenzio on the inside, but Gabriel Piana, well, we said he had to get through the traffic. Look how far he's gone. Simon Birch runs wide into turn 1. There's another of the Razzoon racing cars has gone into the runoff area, and that is Matis Plushkel onto the grass. One of the BWT Mucker cars, and that is Adrian Rushny after such a great qualifying session. Now having to weave his way around the tri-oval and rejoin at the back of the pack, and it's going to be a long old race race for him. But our race leader, Mark Di Fulgentio, did what he needs to do. There's another car going off wide. One of the Porsches rejoins, able to keep it out of the barriers. But a lot of drama in the opening lap of this race. Mark Di Fulgentio leading the way. Gabriel Piana in second place. Simon Birch, very impressive in that third place. Although Gabriel Piana in that BMW is proving mighty in the ADAC GT4 Germany, already pressuring the race leader with less than a lap completed. It is 1 hour of racing plus 1 lap. The car's coming out of turn 12 using part of the tri-oval here at the Lausitzring, and along this long straight, absolutely flat out as they head past the pits and in towards turn 1. Gabriel Piana in the BMW has a little look. The incident involving Adrian Rushni under investigation. Piana not hanging about, moves to the inside of Mark Di Fulgentio. Fulgentio coming back. He has the inside line into turn 3, but it is Gabriel Piana who takes the lead of this race. He didn't hang about, did he? On board with Mark Di Fulgentio. He can see the BMW that is prepared by Hofer Racing, by Bonk Motorsport, now taking the lead of this race. Gabriel Piana, the only driver to have ever started every single race in ADAC GT4 Germany history, now leading the way. He's won every race this year so far, along with co-pilot Mikael Schrey. That's Mo Ritson off onto the grass, and it looked like Diego Stifter in there as well. The Razzoon More Than Racing Porsche getting together with the BMW. Mo Ritson has had a fairly traumatic time of it in qualifying. He managed to give the wall a bit of a snog as well in free practice yesterday. Tested the suspension on that BMW, and it looks like his weekend has gone from bad to worse. He was so impressive. Oschersleben coming through the pack along with Gianni van der Kratz, his co-pilot, but no such good fortune here at the moment. We're on board with Simon Birch in third place. We've got a camera pointing at him. Great camera shot there, but here comes our race leader, a familiar sight in ADAC GT4 Germany, and it's Gabriel Piana leading the way. Mark Di Fulgentio in second, Simon Birch in third. Keep an eye on Jan-Philipp Springhoff, very rapid in fourth place. So the incident between car 48, which was Mo Ritson, and Diego Stifter, also under investigation. This is a replay of the start. You get a perspective of how wide this track is along the pit straight. You could probably fit about 7 or 8 abreast. Great start from Mark Di Fulgentio, but keep an eye on Gabriel Piana in the silver and blue BMW. Looks to the inside, then he saw a gap up the middle. He went, I'll have some of that, thank you very much. Almost took the lead going into the first corner, and that was the Razzoon More Than Racing Porsche going straight on, and Adrian Ruchny in that car taking to the runoff area. Fortunately, there is a runoff area there. You really do need that, but he has to negotiate the tri-oval corner through the various chicanes before he can rejoin up on turn 5. On board with Philip Gogelok in the what is known as the carbon fiber zone, right in the middle of the pack, and just doing well to keep out of trouble. Also on board with Ivan Ekelschik, the Wimmer Werk Motorsport car, and you can see what happened there. It was Matis Plushkal who got together with the Porsche, then on to the grass, is able to rejoin, but Matis Plushkal along with Luca Bosco, who were so impressive at Oschersleben, it's a bit of a baptism of fire here on their first visit to the Lausitzring. This was that move once again from Gabriel Piana under braking, the back of the car snaking. Mark Di Fulgentio, well, he almost nicked it back again, didn't he? Saw him cut back to the inside. He pulled alongside the BMW, but there is an awful lot of grunt in the number 2 car that's prepared by Hofer Racing, by Bonk Motorsport. Certainly the quickest of the BMWs in ADAC GT4 Germany, but not breaking clear of Mark Di Fulgentio at the moment. You can see that the incident involving Adrian Rushni is not there's no penalties or anything to be awarded from that, so the stewards have taken a look and decided it was a racing incident. Right, on board with Mark Di Fulgentio, We're 6 minutes into the race, and there's a big battle going on for the lead here. Of course, the race leader at the moment, Gabriel Piana, is carrying a success ballast that he is carrying over from winning at Oschersleben, so he's got 15 kilograms on board. Further back, the number 31 car with Josef Knopp at the wheel has got an extra 10 kilograms, and also the Max Kronberg car has 5 kilograms, and that's as a result of the 1, 2, 3 at the second race at Oschersleben, pushing his way through the pack. Well, not pushing, but racing. Leighton Fury, so impressive at Oschersleben, very rapid indeed. He's in the pack at the moment. There is Max Kronberg getting out wide onto the grass and losing a number of places. So still a lot of scrapping going on in this, the opening moments of the race, none more so than for the lead. Gabriel Piana, well, anybody who thought he was going to check out at the front is very much mistaken. He did get past Mark de Fulgentio, but Mark de Fulgentio is now hounding him and loitering in the background, Simon Birch and Jan Philip Springhob. So the 1, 2, 3 just breaking a little bit clear of that 4th place. It is a 60-minute race plus 1 lap as we look at Marcus Eicheler, the boss of ME Motorsport. Great to have ME Motorsport on the grid here for ADAC GT4 Germany, trying to make the move on Tadao Neumann. We saw him here last year, but ME Motorsport in that mighty BMW, pulling alongside the Porsche and slamming the door in its face, and trying to follow through on his heels is the teammate, and that is being driven by Andres Jochimsen, the driver from Denmark, who is very rapid, got a 9th and a 12th place along with Tommy Rackle at Oschersleben last year. Keep an eye also on car 31. Josef Knopp along with Finn Zulauf have been quick in all of the free practice sessions here this year. A lot of scrapping going on in the traffic. The other the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport cars being driven by Leon Vassather, currently in P9 but working his way through the pack, and we're just looking at a replay of that. Interestingly, Porsche versus BMW, maybe a little bit of contact there as well, but BMW have never won here in the ADAC GT4 Germany, but Porsche have won 50% of all of the GT4 races, the ADAC GT4 races that have ever taken place here at the Lausitzring. So BMW very much looking to put that to rights. The one who is in the best position for that is our race leader, Gabriel Piana, currently ahead of Mark de Fulgentio in the Mercedes AMG, but not by much. There's another look at Max Kronberg getting pushed wide onto the grass. He's able to rejoin, albeit a long way back through the pack, down in 12th place at the moment. Here comes our race leader. It is Gabriel Piana and Mark de Fulgentio. So the race, which is, I've been trying to say this for ages, is a 1 hour long plus 1 lap, but there is a mandatory pit stop and driver change that will need to take place. 25 minutes into the race, a pit window will open, and during that 10 minutes, every car will need to come into the pits for a mandatory stop and a driver change. There is a minimum pit stop time between pit entry and pit exit of 95 seconds. Any driver who goes below that will pick up a penalty. You can see from your graphic, we've lost Diego Stifter and Adrian Rushny. Everybody else is running. Gabriel Piana trying to give BMW their first ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany here at the Lausitzring, as the two ME Motorsport cars going head to head, and it is Andres Jochimsen who finds a way past Marcus Eicheler, the team boss, being careful not to make any contact at all. There's a good job, but Leighton Fury in car 46 moving past even Eccleshick in the Wimmer Werk Porsche. Leighton Fury, who was so quick at Oschersleben along with Max Rosam, but spent both of the racers either getting in trouble with the stewards or had a puncture, various issues which robbed them of what looked like certain podiums. They are definite championship contenders this year. Both drivers have come out of the BMW M2 Cup last year. In fact, Leighton Fury is the champion of BMW M2 Cup from 2023 and has been really enjoying his time in ADAC GT4 Germany and proving that with some very rapid results. This is our race leader, Gabriel Piana, with 49 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. The winner of race 2 last year, Mark Di Fulgentio, hot on his heels, and the very impressive Simon Birch in 3rd place. Jan-Philipp Springhob, a relatively experienced driver in ADAC GT4 Germany, in 4th place ahead of Josef Knopp, Leighton Fury, Ivan Eccleschick, Andreas Jochimsen, Marcus Eichsteller and Leon Wasserthörer. And it's Wasserthörer that we're watching at the moment, just ahead of car number 9, Tado Neumann, who is putting the pressure onto Marcus Eichsteller. But it is Tado Neumann and Max Kronberg. Porsche versus Porsche. Kronberg taking a little look to the inside. Both of these drivers have done a fair amount of time in ADAC GT4 Germany. Neither are new to the series. Behind them, Philip Gogolok in the Aston Martin that's been prepared by Zach Speed and ESM, Eastside Motorsports, but they have struggled a bit for pace with that car. They had all sorts of handling issues at Oschersleben. They've sorted the handling, but have not really got the grunt at the moment, and finding these straights they're getting outpowered by other cars, and perhaps feeling as though the BOP not working in their favour at the moment. Philip Gogolok has Emil Jördrum just behind him in the number 86 Mercedes, and Emil, another driver who's in his 2nd year in ADAC GT4 Germany, who has been getting quicker and quicker as the seasons progress, and looking very rapid. To get past Philip Gogolok will be quite an achievement, because Gogolok is a potential champion in this series, but at the moment looking under a lot of pressure. Nels Troger just behind them as well in the number 49 car. So this battle is for 13th place. We look a little further up the road, and that is Leon Wasserthörer and Marcus Eichsteller running side by side, BMW versus BMW. Wasserthörer in the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW. There's something that Hofer Racing by Bonk are doing in their preparation that is seeing them a lot quicker than many of the other BMWs on the track. And Leon Wasserthörer picking up that 9th place. Now Marcus Eichsteller coming under pressure from Tado Neumann, who is just behind him, and then Max Kronberg. Then this battle here, Philip Gogolok, Emil Jördrum, and Jördrum looks to have the run at a turn 12. He's tucked up behind the Aston Martin. Now will he pick up the slipstream as he heads past the pits? He looks to the outside. Philip Gogolok holding on, in fact opening up the gap, so found a bit of pace there. And Emil Jördrum with Nils Troger just behind, so having to defend as well. The fighting going on further back. We cut away as we have a look at a replay. Is this someone giving the wall a little kiss? Yes, it is. Max Kronberg just exchanging a little paint with the concrete. I have to tell you, that wall doesn't move, so it would have been wall 1 and Porsche 0. In that instance, we got problems. There's a car that's stationary. It looks like as he made contact with the wall. Now that is Matthias Salonen, who was running in 20th place. It looks as though he's stranded, and I get a feeling we might see a safety car. We've got a full course yellow coming in at the moment, so full course yellow about to come. So in the full course yellow, the drivers must reduce their speed to no more than 80 kilometers an hour, and obviously strictly no overtaking. So the entire field coming down to 80 kilometers an hour. So our race stewards are not wanting to bring up the safety car, because of course that can give drivers an unfair advantage or disadvantage So the gaps remain the same in theory. So we'll see if we can get the number 84 car, Matthias Salonen, off the track. It means that Lachlan Robinson is not going to get a drive this afternoon in this series. We did have 4 CV Performance Group cars starting at Oschersleben, but we have lost one. So actually make that 3, but we have lost one because we had that massive accident with Mikael Makesh. We saw the car on its roof in race 2 Oschersleben. That car was comprehensively totaled, and so he and Matt Huber not making it onto the grid here at the Lausitzring. And CV Performance have now lost another car in the shape of the 84 of Matthias Salonen, and that will be towed back to the pitch. Looks like it's a mechanical failure, potentially. The car at a stop, and that's out on the exit of the final corner and out just before the tri-oval. So the hard-working crew will get that car towed back to the pits, and they'll get to work so they can have another go tomorrow. The driver from Tampere in Finland, Matthias Salonen, was in the DTM Trophy in 2022, did a couple of races. He's been in the Porsche Sprint Challenge, missed the championship on that, the NEZ Challenge in 2023 by just a couple of points. So a very rapid pilot. He's also raced in Legends cars. That's something very different indeed. But his afternoon has come to a premature finish. Full course yellow then, and there is our race leader, Gabriel Piana. Mark Di Fulgentio in second. Now, what's going on here? Incident car 9 and 3 under investigation, overtaking under a full course yellow. Oh, that's not good news, is it? So that's Tano Neumann and Leon Wasserthurer in 9th and 10th. So I'm guessing that Neumann is potentially the one who's under investigation. What I was about to say was that Piana and Di Fulgentio together on track, but with the full course yellow coming out, the gaps do change as the drivers decelerate at different levels. And Simon Birch very much in the clutches of Jan-Philipp Springhob. So the last of the podium positions, Birch would dearly love to add a podium to his 4th and 10th place that he and Denny Burnt scored at Oschersleben in the opening round. But you can see Jan-Philipp Springhob is a little bit hot on his heels in another of the CV Performance Group cars. He's sharing that with Alex Connor, and they are a very potent driver duo. Alex Connor, who's based in the UK, and Jan-Philipp Springhob from Germany. In that 4th place, certainly got their eyes on a podium position. Right, full course yellow ending in 10 seconds. Well, that was 10 seconds ago because we are at green. Piana has anticipated it very well. Di Fulgentio hasn't. So Piana has suddenly extended that gap at the front. It was about half a second going into the full course yellow, but Di Fulgentio, perhaps a little bit caught napping when we went back to green flag conditions, has dropped back. Simon Birch now into the clutches of Jan-Philipp Springhob. That is for 3rd place. Keep an eye on Leighton Fury in 5th place. Josef Knopp as well. So many quick drivers out on track, and I think there's several cars that have been caught perhaps a little bit by surprise as we've gone back to green flag racing. And it's all about getting back on the accelerator as soon as that green flag comes out. That's exactly what Gabriel Piana has done. Well, it was about 1.8 seconds last time they crossed the timing beam. It may even be more than that now. So Mark Di Fulgentio will be very frustrated because he really was looking like a contender to potentially get back past and into the lead of this race. This was Leon Wasserthurer and Max Kronberg running side by side earlier. And Kronberg getting through, a bit of debris flying as well. So here comes our race leader along the pit straight. It's Gabriel Piana, Mark Di Fulgentio, Simon Birch, Jan-Philipp Springhob, Leighton Fury, Josef Knopp, keep an eye on him, Ivan Ekushik, Andreas Jochimsen, Tano Neumann, Marcus Eicheler, then Max Kronberg, Leon Wasserthurer, we've just seen, Niels Troger, Tom Edgar, who along with Joe Warhurst was very impressive at Oschersleben, down in 14th, Philip Gogolok struggling a little bit there in 15th, Emil Jördrum in 16th, and then Tommy Gore, we got problems. Well, the 86 car of Emil Yerdrum. We just mentioned him, and he's got together with the 47 car of Tom Edgar. So we were just bigging him up. Well, it looks like Edgar's able to rejoin, albeit with the door open. But getting together with Emil Yerdrum, that's on turn 1. We may well see a full course yellow here, because it doesn't look as though that Mercedes MG is going any further. Looking distinctly second-hand is car number 86. CV Performance Group's spare parts department have been doing a roaring trade over the last couple of races, haven't they? So full course yellow is going to be coming out again. Let's take a look here as we look down into turn 1. So the Mercedes to the inside, pretty unsighted by Tom Edgar, who goes to close the door. So Emil Yerdrum carrying a lot of speed into turn 1. It's not really my job to judge, so we'll let the stewards do that, but certainly the net result is damage to both cars. It looks as though Edgar has been able to rejoin. Gogolok kept well out of the way and then said, "I'll have that, thank you." And well, Emil Yerdrum, hands in the air, frustrated, like, what am I meant to do? As he looks, I think he's pointing at a car or the race marshals, but there is the car he got together with. Look at the state of that door. What's left of it? He's got a cat flap in the side of car number 47, and it looks to me as though he's going to struggle to keep going. Tom Edgar, such a shame. And that car, well, it's under investigation. Emil Yerdrum strides back to the pits. That's a real shame, because I was looking forward to seeing how he did. William Tregurtha is not going to get a drive this afternoon. Now, William Tregurtha has finished either first, second or third in every race he's ever been in at the Lausitzring. Well, he's got one more chance tomorrow to keep that record going, but it ain't going to be this afternoon, I'm afraid, because that CV Performance Mercedes is going absolutely nowhere, and Emil Yerdrum is a foot passenger as he heads back to the pits. We're looking into the pits at the moment. That's Enzo Yuli getting ready to take over from Mark Di Fulgentio. So full course yellow at the moment. The pit window should still open on schedule when the clock strikes 35. So that'll be in less than 2.5 minutes. There is Emil Yerdrum in the background. There is his car, looking a little bit second-hand, and the pit window has been postponed, in fact. So it won't open when the clock strikes 35. The race stewards do a phenomenal job here, and they're very keen to make sure this is a level playing field, that nobody gets advantaged or disadvantaged by full course yellows, safety cars, etc., if at all possible. There's your 1, 2, 3. So Mark Di Fulgentio had broken clear of Jan Philipp Springhob when this full course yellow came out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see Simon Birch heading up to turn 11 and 12 in the background. Leighton Fury in 5th place. Ivan Eccleshick. And oh dear, that is going to be a bit of work for the CV Performance Group team tonight. Having another look here, where's the gap on the inside? So the stewards will need to decide. Was Emil Yerdrum far enough ahead? Did Tom Edgar slam the door? Or was Emil Yerdrum a little bit optimistic, trying to make that move? That's the decision they will make. They'll have a much better opinion of that. It was quite a thump that Tom Edgar got. Philip Gogolok had a grandstand view and was very happy to steal those 2 positions away. That's a bit of a sprint by Emil Yerdrum. He's been in training all winter, hasn't he? As he heads back into the pits. Not entirely sure he's allowed to go across the pit lane, but he makes his way back, and the team will set to work on that car as soon as it is back. And no doubt that will be on the grid tomorrow for the second race of the weekend, as it's currently towed to a place of safety. So the full course yellow is out. We were 15 seconds away from the pit window, but that has been postponed. So as soon as we're back to green flag conditions, I expect we will get notifications when it's going to open. Right, a couple more cars under investigation for overtaking under a full course yellow. And that is car 91 and 31. So Ivan Eccleshick and Josef Knopp under investigation for overtaking under a yellow. Josef Knopp, who's sharing with Finn Zulauf, and that car with Finn Zulauf at the wheel won this race last year. It was the Avia WS Motorsport Porsche then, as it is now. At that point, he was sharing with Daniel Gregor, was Finn Zulauf. This year with Josef Knopp, they have proven to be very quick. Right, full course yellow is about to end. We are back to green. The big crowd here are being entertained, and suddenly the challenge is on for second place. Mark Di Fulgenzio maybe a little bit slow out of the blocks, and suddenly Jan-Philipp Springop, well, he's shown as second place on the timing screens. He's wrestling it away now. Mercedes versus Mercedes out of turn 12, out along the pit straight. They run absolutely side by side. Now it's going to be last of the late breakers. Jan-Philipp Springop has the line into turn 1. Di Fulgenzio taking a wider line, trying to carry some momentum. He's going to cut back to the inside. The inside then becomes the outside. The two cars running side by side. Good, clean racing, but it's Jan-Philipp Springop who steps up into second place. Meanwhile, further back, Simon Birch under pressure from Leighton Fury. The battles are raging. Further back, Josef Knopp and Andreas Jochumsen fighting for 7th place. Behind them, Tanner Neumann, Marcus Eicheler, Max Kronberg, Leon Vasser, the rest of them coming through. There's Philip Gogolok. Behind them, Tommy Gore, good job from him, up into 15th place after such a difficult day yesterday. Right, new pit stop window from 14:40. So pit window to 14:50. So that was the time which has passed. So the pit window should be opening any second now. That is basically my summary of the situation, because it says that it's open already according to my graphic. So we'll see what happens next when the drivers come in. Of course, the drivers, the teams might want to keep drivers out on the track for as long as possible if they're in open air and they've got maybe the quickest driver in the seat, or they might want to bring him in early. They might want to bring Leon Vasser in early if they feel he's in traffic, but no, because the traffic moves out of the way. Two cars peeling off into the pit lane for their mandatory stop. Right, you can see from the clock on your screen, the pit window is open. Here comes Simon Birch. Good job done by him. Another of the graduates from the BMW M2 Cup, Benny Dirt, will be jumping into the Razzoon More Than Racing number 10 car. There's Enzo Giuli getting ready to take over from Mark Di Fulgenzio, and I get a feeling Di Fulgenzio will be incredibly frustrated that he really got caught out really with both of those full course yellows. Right, in comes the number 30 car, so Max Kronberg handing over to Hendrik Still with the 95-second minimum pit stop time. Not quite the panic that you'd have in maybe some of the GT3 races, so drivers able just to take their time, make sure it's done properly, buckled up. This would have been worked out, back-timed. The perfect scenario is that as the clock ticks down from 95 seconds, that the car hits the pit exit line when the clock strikes 0. But of course, you don't want to get there too early. If you do that, you're gonna pick up a penalty. So you can see from your graphic the cars that are in to the pits. Philip Dietrich is in the number 71 car. He's handing over to David Lackner. Tom Edgar is out on track, obviously, but ahead of them, or ahead of him, are those stoppers. Now Edgar is into the pits. He's going to be handing over to Joe Warhurst. I'm not entirely sure how straight the steering will be on that car after that impact. Right, here's the 31 car, Josef Knopp. He'll be handing over to Finn Zulauf. Emil Yerdrum, of course, he is not running in this race. So Edgar/Warhurst will be the last. Right, we've got a red P on our screen. You can see from the graphic there that Simon Birch, who's handed over to Denny Burnt, the red P indicates that they've gone below potentially the minimum pit stop time of 95 seconds. So what has been such a strong start to the race may well turn out to be a slightly more depressing one. Not as depressing as the state of that door. I think we can probably safely drop that one in a skip somewhere and send the bill to one Mr. T. Edgar/E. Yerdrum. But that door, well, it's still got to hold together. And it actually is a serious consideration, because if that door didn't shut properly, if it started to shed bits, he would be called back into the pits. It's Joe Warhurst who's at the wheel. We're going to have another look Cover your eyes if you don't want to see a door getting battered. There we go. That was a hole, a Mercedes-shaped hole. Now, I have to say, they're going to need a new headlight on that Mercedes and a front wing as well. Philip Gogolok said, I didn't come here to watch banger racing, I came here to watch GT4. But he'll have those positions, and there is the slightly depressing sight for all the Mo Ritson fans, of which there are many watching this race. We say hello to you, but I'm afraid your man Mo Ritson is out of this one at the moment. Gianni van der Kratz is, well, he's not out of it, actually he's in 13th place, but he's got a bit of damage. Gianni van der Kratz will be taking over the wheel of that. Yeah, don't panic. Right, here's our race leader, Gabriel Piana, leading the way, yet to make his stop. Jan-Philipp Springhoff in second place. Mark Di Fulgentio is in the number 18 car. You saw Enzo Giuli warming up, but he's not in it yet. So Di Fulgentio has caught up with the fellow Mercedes car. Right, car 47, car 9, penalty laps for speeding under a full course yellow. It's hard to keep up on this. So that is Joe Warhurst. His poor afternoon has gone from bad to worse. He's got a penalty lap 3 times to the penalty box. That is also the case for Tano Neumann, car number 9, who's currently in 10th place. Well, he's in the pits at the moment, so he's going to be dropping further back from there. Penalty box is an area of the track out on the exit of turn 5. It is about 200 meters long, and the driver must pass through it at no more than 50 kilometers an hour. It's effectively adding 5 seconds to the lap time as we look at the Simon Birch car in the pits, handing over to Denny Berndt. But a visit to the penalty box, the equivalent to having about 5 seconds added to your lap time. 3 visits, well, according to my maths, is about 15 seconds. We can see that Simon Birch had a fairly lively time heading into the corner, and that was a replay of what happened earlier. Also, you can see Gabriel Piana using quite a lot of the track, maybe a little bit more. That was Simon Birch losing that position to Jan-Philipp Springhoff. We can see that Mark Di Fulgentio is now into the pits, as is Leighton Fury, as is Andreas Joachimsen. So it's still Piana, still yet to pit. Jan-Philipp Springhoff, even Eccleshick, they're all yet to pit. Niels Troger, Philip Gogolok, Tommy Gore, and then it's the pitters, Mark Di Fulgentio. So he'll be in there. They'll be wanting to turn that around as quick as possible. He'll want to get to the line when it strikes 0. There are the aforementioned drivers. So Joe Warhurst visiting the penalty box, and that is a mistake that was made by his teammate, so he is paying the price for Tom Edgar's speeding under the full course yellow, which is kind of insult to injury if it wasn't for the fact he's also got additional air conditioning from that driver's door. Right, here is our race leader into the pits. So Gabriel Piana, Mikael Stray will be limbering up in the wings, getting ready to jump into that car. So Gabriel Piana keeping to the speed limit, looking to get BMW's first ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany at the Lausitzring, looking to make it 3 out of 3 wins this season for that driver combination in that car. So there's Mikael Stray. He won this championship along with Gabriel Piana in 2021. They want to become the second duo ever to win 2 championships in ADAC GT4 Germany. Car 10 has the penalty lap for pit stop time, so Denny Berndt is going to receive a penalty lap. We saw that the red P indicated he'd gone below the 95 seconds as Jan-Philipp Springhoff also peels off into the pits. So the penalty lap for car 10 after such a strong start. So Jan-Philipp Springhoff into the pits. He's going to be handing over to Alex Connor, another very rapid driver that we saw last year. The fighting continues. That's Max Kronberg and Marcus Eicheler going wheel to wheel. Eicheler trying to get ahead of the Porsche, so Eicheler into the 12th place. Kronberg coming back at him in 13th place. He has the line into the corner, but the BMW has the faster line round the outside, but then it's to the inside. So the 2 cars running side by side. Advantage Eicheler at the moment in towards turns 10 and 11. In a moment, as they head out onto the tri-oval, it will be all about the horsepower as they head out on to the pit straight now. Will the number 13 car of Max Kronberg be able to find the speed to pull alongside Marcus Eichler? Those BMWs have been very, very quick here in free practice and qualifying, as has been the Porsche, though. The Porsche to the inside, into turn one, and stealing the position away. Max Kronberg up into that position. Just looking at the graphic, Tommy Gore has gone below the minimum pit stop time, as well as we look at Jan-Philipp Springhoff handing over to Alex Connor in the CV Performance Group Mercedes. So they were in the lead when they came in. Let's see where they come out of the pits in comparison to Mikael Schrey, car number 2, who's currently out on turn 8 at the moment, around to turn 9. So it looks to me as though they should be able to retake this lead. Alex Connor will be itching to go, but he must not go below the minimum pit stop time. Even Eccleshick in as well, handing over to Ferdinand Winter. Right, out of turn 12 comes Mikael Schrey out along the pits. And there is the 85 car, and he will see the BMW coming past on the outside. So out of the pit box he comes. A fairly comfortable lead for Mikael Schrey. You can see the Mercedes peeling off and struggling to hold on to that second place, because Enzo Giuli is there in the number 18 car. So Enzo Giuli sees his opportunity, but Alex Connor making that Mercedes as wide as he possibly can. He just holds on to the second place. So it's Alex Connor in the number 85 car, having taken over from Jan-Philipp Springhoff. Enzo Giuli in third. Leighton Fury's handed over to Max Rosam in fourth place. So solid drive from them. Ferdinand Winter in the fifth. Josef Knopp in sixth has handed over to Finn Zulauf. So the view of car 85 in second place, car 18 challenging for position. It is Enzo Giuli in car 18. It's not Jan-Philipp Springhoff, it's Alex Connor, despite what the graphic says, who's in second place, holding on. But how long can he hold on? The BWT Mucker Mercedes AMG has been looking so quick. Car 24, well, he went a long way under the pit stop time, but a long way back at the moment is Tommy Gore. So not a consideration for a podium position. This, however, is. It's the fight for second place. Out on the pit straight, Enzo Giuli in third. Ahead of him is Alex Connor. Into turn one, Connor goes to shut the door. He leaves a gap on the inside. Enzo Giuli comes sailing through. A drive-through penalty for car 24 for going below, and the pit stop time is Senna Summerbell, who's at the wheel of that car, having taken over from Tommy Gore. But the positions chopping and changing, but Enzo Giuli in that second place, and that sets after Mikael Schrey. There's Finn Zulauf going head-to-head with Ferdinand Winter. Both of those drivers racing in GT4 Germany last year. And as already mentioned, Finn Zulauf, who won this race last year, finding the route past. Porsche versus Porsche. The Porsches having looked so strong here in the ADAC GT4 Germany at the Lausitzring. So car 31 with Finn Zulauf at the wheel. Currently in sixth place. He's taken over from Josef Knopp, up into fifth as a result of that move past Ferdinand Winter. That's the view from Ferdinand Winter. A little over 20 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. The pit window is closed. Our race leader is Mikael Schrey. Enzo Giuli in second place, ahead of Alex Connor in car 85 in third. Max Rosam, who's taken over from Leighton Fury, in fourth. And Finn Zulauf, who's taken over from Josef Knopp, in fifth place. I have my wits about me with the graphics here. 20.5 minutes remaining. There is Finn Zulauf. Across the line he comes in fifth place. A good solid position to be in, potentially a good points haul, but once again it's a familiar scenario. Taking another look at Alex Connor, and Enzo Giuli, and Connor just outbraking himself into turn 1, leaves a big gap on the inside. That's all that Enzo Giuli needs. Through the gap, steals the position away. Mercedes ahead of Mercedes in that fight for second place. That was the view from Enzo Giuli, and that's the only invitation he needed. Enzo Giuli, along with Mark Di Fulgentio, looked very strong, started this race on pole position, allowed Piana and Schrey to get past and open up that lead. Now, with 19.5 minutes remaining, we'll see what they can do. Gabriel Piana is the fastest man on the track at the moment. Was fastest of the front runners on that previous lap, but of course second and third very much in the battles. With all the pit stops done and dusted, that's what it looks like. We've lost several cars. Emil Yerdrum, Matthias Salonen, Mattis Pushkal, Diego Stifter and Adrian Rushny, all drivers that have retired as a result of various traumas. We've also lost Mo Ritson and Simon Birch, so 16 cars still running, the last of which is Joe Warhurst. And we're looking again at the changeover. That was Josef Knopp giving way to Finn Zulauf. Some nice slow-mo shots from our crew in the pit. So there's Mikael Schrey warming up, limbering up, ready to take over when he did from Gabriel Piana. And that was the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport team. I say again, Gabriel Piana, the only driver to have ever raced in every single ADAC GT4 Germany race, and he's done every single one of them in the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW, and he's putting all that experience to good use. Right, let's keep an eye on the gap. So it was 3.603 between first and second last time around. Alex Connor in third place, a little bit out of sight. There is Mikael Schrey. Enzo Giuli in the pink Mercedes, and just behind. So around turn 11, 3.603. What's it going to be when they come out of turn 12? Enzo Giuli, that Mercedes has looked quick in every session. So has he been able to do anything about the 3.603 seconds? Well, yes, he has. About 0.4 of a second last time across the timing beam, and then another couple of tenths there. So the gap is coming down. 17.5 minutes plus 1 lap. Second place is catching first. Alex Connor in third place. Max Rozam in fourth. Finn Zulauf. All drivers that are more than capable of challenging for a podium position. You're looking there at Enzo Giuli. Great shot of the driver closing in on the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW. To remind you that he is carrying the leader 15 kilos extra, the success penalty that has been awarded. Car 85, which has not Jan-Philipp Springob, he has handed over to Alex Connor in third place. And then Max Rozam, not Leighton Fury, in fourth place. So you can see the first 4 cars very much running together. Josef Knopp in car 31 has handed over to Finn Zulauf. And he is in 5th place. Ferdinand Winter, yeah, that is who's driving car number 6. Tommy Rackle in 7th. Tim Reiter in 8th place. Max Kronberg has handed over to Hendrik Still in 9th place. On your toes here, Philip Viskersen's taking over Marcus Eichela in 10th place. Good, we've had an update, good. Someone's hit refresh, F10, whatever it is. 16 minutes to go on this race 3 of the season. There's first, second, third, fourth. There is 5th place, Finn Zulauf. Such a quick driver. Has experienced the top step on the podium. Would dearly love to do it again. Gonna take a bit of a stretch to do it in this race, but anything can happen. We've still got about a quarter of this race still remaining. Now, car 31 is under investigation for a pit stop infringement. We saw a slow-mo of Finn Zulauf in the pits, having taken over from Josef Knopp, and it has been reported to the steward. So clearly, there's been an issue there. Heavily regulated, the pit stops. They're only allowed 3 mechanics to work on the car. The driver must not leave the garage too early before the incoming car has come to a standstill. No tyre changes, lots of different restrictions, all about keeping it safe as we ride on board with Jan Marszałkowski. He's not used to being down in 12th place. Zach Speed are not used to being down in 12th place either. They've worked hard to get a grip on that Aston Martin. Had a bit of a mare of it at Oschersleben, but got a bit of a handle now, just not really enjoying the pace. Feel as though maybe the BOP not working in favour of the Aston Martin at the moment. Ahead of them is car 24. Tommy Gore is handed over to Senna Somerville, the Jamaican drivers, 2 Jamaican drivers. Great to have them on the grid for SAPE Motorsport. I think it's fair to say it's been something of a baptism of fire, but they are great to have them on the grid. Senna Somerville, of course, the first name named after another driver, but Jan Marszałkowski gets together with him. The 2 cars making contact, Somerville pointing in the wrong direction. Now, looks like Marszałkowski's able to continue. He's up into 11th place. The stewards are going to take a look at that. So, contact between those 2 cars. Let's take another look here. So, into the last few corners of the lap. Marszałkowski sees the gap. Somerville goes to shut the door. The 2 cars get together. There's debris flying through the air. I think that was probably off the Audi. So, may have been off Jan Marszałkowski's car. Either way, it's not going to have done either of the cars any favours. And this was the view from Jan Marszałkowski's perspective. He sees a gap, and then just as he's stuck his nose into it, he sees the gap closing. And the question is, do you keep your nose in there? Do you stand on the brakes? Maybe you don't have much of an option across the curbs. But car 24 goes a-spinning, and Marszałkowski is able to continue on his way. We'll see if there is any further repercussions from that. But 11th place, Jan Marszałkowski, the driver who has been challenging for the championship in GT4 Germany in the past, a previous multiple race winner in this series, a previous winner in GT Masters and in Prototype Cup Germany, so certainly not familiar with being out of the top 10, and will be frustrated by that. So, 12.5 minutes remaining. Mikael Schrey leads the way. Enzo Giuli is down to 2.5 seconds. So, what is Schrey doing? Is he just maintaining the lead, or is Enzo Giuli closing in? Alex Connor in 3rd place. We're looking at the 3rd place, Tim Reiter. He's found a route past Tommy Rackle, the number 77 car. So, he is up into the 7th place. And now Rackle coming under pressure from Henrik Still. We saw him having a bit of a moment earlier on. Philip Viskersen in the background there as well in the BMW. But Tim Reiter at the head of that queue, certainly proving there's pace in the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW. Had a 3rd place in race 1 of the season, a non-finish, had that broken steering at Oschersleben in race 2. So put a bit of a dent in the championship hopes of Tim Reiter and Leon Wasserthurer. There is a long way to go. We've still got another 10 races after this one, including the streets of the Nürburgring coming up next. So car 24 has received a black flag. So car 24 for SAPE Motorsport has received a black flag from the race stewards. It looks as though their afternoon may well be over, been called into the pits. So not quite what they were looking for today. They have been in the wars. Car 30 taking to the grass, not really the quickest way around there. So Henrik Still trying to get past Tommy Rackle, but in doing so, leaves himself vulnerable to Philip Viskersen. Just behind them is Jan Marszałkowski. Well, a little bit behind them as a result of that collision. Ahead of them is Tim Reiter. So into the pits comes car 24. Right, that's a drive is through penalty according to the graphic. So car 24, that'll be as a result of that collision with Jan Marszałkowski. So through the pits he comes. and he rejoins, and that'll be a long way back. So we're looking again at what has felt like a number of place changes. Car 30, Hendrik Still, Philip Viskersen, Tommy Rackle. The meat in the sandwich, the Porsche. He gets past into turn 1, but bumps over the grass. The BMW sliding back round and takes the position back again. Just carrying a little bit too much speed into that tricky turn 1. It's a real pinch point, but it's also a sharp turn, and it's fairly downhill as well. Quite a hard turn to maneuver, so I'm told. Right, towards the front, Alex Connor under pressure from Max Rosam. This is for the last of the podium positions. Our race lead also shrinking. While we've been looking at that, Mikael Stray now just 1.4 seconds for Enzo Juli. So suddenly, all of the podium positions are up for grabs. There's our race leader. First, second, a gap back to third and fourth. Finn Zulav hovering there in fifth. Max Rosam, again, another of the drivers so impressive in the season opener at Oschersleben. We've seen him in GT4 Germany in the past. He was in the BMW M2 Cup last year, and he has rejoined, and alongside Leighton Fury has proven to be a potent combination. Alex Connor, we saw him last year in the BWT Mucker Mercedes. He has moved to Data Lab Sports with CV Performance Group, the team with the longest name in the history of GT4 racing, and in that third place, looking very vulnerable to the BMW. Car number 46 looking for their first podium in ADAC GT4 Germany. Little over 8.25 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Mikael Stray's lead down to about a second. So Enzo Juli giving it everything he's got. Last time around, he was half a second quicker. His lap time was half a second quicker than the race leader. But our fight for third place also gripping us here. There's a lot less than that between third and fourth, isn't it? You can see the graphic inset, the view from Enzo Juli. There they go through the bottom of the screen. So first and second pass through the bottom of the picture. This is third and fourth. Max Rosam has a little look to the outside of Alex Connor. Connor doing what he can to make sure that Mercedes exactly on the racing line. Not easy to overtake on this section of the track, but into turn 10 they come. And Max Rosam will want to be as close as possible if they come out of turn 12 in a few moments to get a good exit from turn 12 and maybe pick up a slipstream. You can see there was a bit of contact earlier on. Right out of turn 12 they come. He's got his nose on the inside before he's even got into slipstream territory. The two cars now running flat out. It's a drag race towards turn 1 for the last of the podium positions. Max Rosam on the inside, and it looks as though he's going to have to yield, is Alex Connor, because he loses that third place to Max Rosam. The BMW has been looking so quick into the podium position, stealing away third place. In the background is Finn Zulav. Meanwhile, the race for the lead now just half a second between first and second place with 6.5 minutes remaining. In fact, well, you can see what the gap looks like. You can see the lap evolution there from your graphic. The summary of all that, Enzo Juli has been closing in on Mikael Stray with every lap. He's got a little over 6 minutes to steal away the joy, to steal away the opportunity for BMW to take their first ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany here at the Lausitzring. Enzo Juli wants to spoil the party. He wants to repeat Mark Di Fulgentio's win from this time last year at this event at the Lausitzring, and he's challenging the race leader. Good perspective there. The graphic to the side of your screen showing you Enzo Juli. You can see working the wheel out of turn 12. Is he close enough to do anything about the BMW? Looks a little too far back to me on this lap, but he still has another 5.5 minutes of this race remaining in towards turn 1. Enzo Juli maybe a little bit too far back now for any dive bombs into turn 1. So Mikael Stray has him covered off for now. But this section of the circuit, turns 2, 3, 4, 5, good opportunity to close up on the car in front. the technical part of the circuit, looking at the battles further back. The ME Motorsport BMWs, two of them that have been going head-to-head with the ADAC Motorsport Porsche all race long. Lots of contact, lots of rubbing, and it is advantage the BMWs. It's advantage BMW at the front of this race at the moment. We're into the last 5 minutes, first and second, running together. Enzo Giuli out into turn 7. Keeping that BMW in sight. He'll want to get as close as possible as he can into turn 8. All the hard work being done here. If he can come out of turns 11 and 12, having made up a bit of ground on that car in front, he will get a good exit out along the pit straight, but he needs to close in at this point. Into turn 10 they come. It's still Mikael Schray leading the way. Enzo Giuli still there, still waiting. Tries to get as close as he can. Now into turn 12, out onto the tri-oval. This long straight as they head towards turn 1. Once again, out past the pits. Giuli hasn't really made up the ground that he needed to on the lap. He's flashing the lights, doing what he can to distract Mikael Schray. Schray still has him covered off. Can he do this? Can he hold this together for another 4 minutes plus 1 lap? First and second. This is it. A battle to the top step of the podium. First and second running very much on their own. Third place, Max Rosam, clear of Alex Connor. So this is what all eyes are on. 3 3/4 minutes remaining. Mikael Schray holding on for all he's worth. Needing to get the braking points absolutely right. If he misses one of those, if he misses an apex, Enzo Giuli will be through. He still holds on at the moment. You can see from the graphic at the side, Enzo Giuli soaring at the wheel of the number 18 Mercedes, holding on to that position in second place, trying to elevate himself up into the lead. Mikael Schray, he has done this many, many times in the past. Mikael Schray in the Hofer Racing by Bong Motorsport BMW, still leading this way. He's won 11 times at the seat of that car. He wants to make it 12 here at the Lausitzring in race 3 of the season, but time is running out for Enzo Giuli to steal that away. Once again, out onto the tri-oval they come. Giuli will know the time is running out. Mikael Schray out onto the pit straight once again. Now Giuli looking a little closer this time as they cross the line. 2.5 minutes remaining. Mikael Schray still has this covered off. Enzo Giuli has a little look to the inside, decides not to do anything about it at the moment, but he's almost pushing him into turn 1. Mikael Schray leading the way, less than 2.5 minutes. Third place, Max Rosam, a long way back from them at the moment, about 6.6 seconds, 6.9 seconds. So no issues there. Gabriel Piana looks on nervously, all his hard work. Mark Di Fulgento will also be looking on at his co-driver, Enzo Giuli. He will be shouting from the garage. What can Enzo Giuli do in the last 2 minutes plus 1 lap of this race? Mikael Schray just doing everything absolutely perfect. It is gloves off. BMW versus Mercedes for the race win, race 3 of the season. 1 minute and 3/4 plus 1 lap. Out towards turn 8 they come once again. Still Mikael Schray holding on. Enzo Giuli, he's gonna have to do something because time is running out. He tries to get as close as possible to that BMW. He needs to get a good exit out of turn 12 onto the straight. He is with him at the moment into turn 10, into turn 11. Now, foot to the floor, trying to go out as wide as he dare. Out past the pits, in towards turn 1. This is the opportunity for Enzo Giuli. He's closer now than he was the last time around. Riding on board with Enzo Giuli. He can see the BMW in front of him. Mikael Schray moves across the block. He sails the dummy to the inside. Enzo Giuli, but he can't get it slowed down. And Mikael Schray steals the position back. It was a perfect move from Enzo Giuli. He sold the dummy, but he couldn't get it slowed down into turn 1. Mikael Schray holds on to that lead, looking for BMW's first win at the Lausitzring ADAC GT4. Now Enzo Giuli's got to do it all again, but time is running out because the clock is going to strike 0 before they get back to the start-finish line, which means there will be one lap. We're having another look there. It was a great move from Enzo Giuli, but just too much speed into turn 1. He almost made it stick, but Mikael Schray came back, saw that position, switched back to the inside and took the lead back again. Wonderful stuff. Good, clean racing from these drivers, and the team can barely look on as they see their man there in second place. Right. Clock strikes 0. The cars are up at turn 9 at the moment. So it will be whatever's left of this lap, which is about 2 corners. Then it will be the final lap. This may well be now Enzo Giuli's last opportunity to take the lead of this race. They're going to come out of turn 12. Once again, this is going to be the last run into turn 1 of the race. It's still Mikael Schray leading the way. Enzo Giuli tucked up behind. He's too far back. He tries to leave it as late as possible in the braking. The 2 cars get together. Mikael Schray spins around. Enzo Giuli takes the lead. Schray's able to rejoin without losing another place. But now here comes Max Rozam looking to steal away the second place. The stewards are going to be making a decision on this, but Max Rozam overcooks it suddenly. Alex Connor in a position to steal away a podium position. It's Enzo Giuli who leads the way. This is most definitely going to be subject to confirmation. It is Mikael Schray in second, Max Rozam in third. Just held on to it from Alex Connor. The incident is under investigation, as you would expect. The long-time race leader, Mikael Schray, along with Gabriel Piana, getting together with Enzo Giuli on the final lap of the race. Enzo Giuli leading the way, having taken over the seat from Mark Di Fulgentio. He's into turn 8 for the last time. We're riding on board with him here. He's just got to bring it home, but it ain't going to be all over until the stewards have sung, because they're into turn 10, into turn 11, but very much subject to confirmation. Out of turn 12 comes Enzo Giuli to take the checkered flag, along with Mark Di Fulgentio for BWT Motorsports. A distant, recovering second place. Well, Mikael Schray is weaving as if it won the race, I have to say, and he may feel as though the stewards might intervene on that one. Third across the line, a first podium for Max Rozam and Leighton Fury. Having another look here, well, from my angle, I don't know. This is why I'm not a race steward. I wouldn't want that job for all the tea in China. Some would say that Giuli had a nose in, and others would say that he dive bombed. It's not my job to give an opinion, but it is the job of the stewards. They have given 3 penalty laps to Enzo Giuli for causing a collision. That is going to give the win to car number 2. The win to Mikael Schray and Gabriel Piana. They inherit the top step of the podium, and the 15-lap penalty that's been given to Enzo Giuli and Mark Di Fulgentio means that Max Rozam and Leighton Fury are going to be elevated up into second place. Alex Connor and Jan-Philipp Springop up into third. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp up into fourth, and you can see the body language. Well, this is what makes racing drivers, isn't it? You've got to go for it, and it was that or never, but it was 5th place in the end for Enzo Giuli. What a fantastic finish for race 3 of the season. It is a clean sweep still for Mikael Schray and Gabriel Piana. 3 wins out of 3 races this season, but boy, did they have to work for that. Congratulations once again, Max Rozam and Leighton Fury through the pack into second place, keeping out of trouble, kept it on the track for most of the time, and there is Gabriel Piana. Every win still means such a lot to him. He's had a fair few of those wins in ADAC GT4 Germany, and he's just added to it. By my reckoning, that's his 13th win in this series. And It's the 12th win for Michael Schrey. Wonderful stuff. What a great battle. That's the quickest hour of the weekend, wasn't it? Brilliant, brilliant stuff. There's your 1, 2, 3. Absolutely spectacular stuff here at the Lausitzring. Can't wait for tomorrow's race. As always, ADAC GT4 Germany steals the show. We've had great racing here, and we will have great racing here with DTM and prototypes, but GT4, it's all about the door handle racing, and look at that, 75 out of 75 points. And Michael Schrey and Gabriel Piana just continuing on their way at the top of the championship. Josef Knopp and Finn Zulauf solid in second place in the championship and very much contenders, but that BMW is going to take a bit of stopping as this season progresses. So Gabriel Piana, every win still means a lot, and I should think that was a stressful situation. And I think Enzo Giuli just did what any racing driver would do, and that is you've just got to go for it. It's the last lap. There's a gap in front of you, and it's a kind of a win or bust approach, and that's what makes great racing drivers, really. Some would say maybe it was a bit optimistic. There is a real star, Max Rosam and Leighton Fury, really impressive. And another impressive duo. We knew that when Alex Connor and Jan-Philipp Springhoff got together for 2024, we knew they were going to be a strong combination. That's exactly what's proven to be the case. Some very strong teams as well. Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport, well, need we say any more about them? Second place, FK Performance have got 4 cars on the grid here and have really worked hard. Great supporters, and we're so grateful for FK Performance for the level of support they put into ADAC GT4 Germany. And that is also the case for CV Performance, who have a number of cars on the grid, and Jan-Philipp Springhoff and Alex Connor turning out to be real challengers. They got a 5th and a 16th place at Oschersleben, and picking it up with a podium here in the 3rd race of the season, and a first ever podium for Max Rosam and Leighton Fury. Leighton Fury, the reigning BMW M2 Cup champion. There is Max Rosam. He was racing Leighton last year against him in the M2 Cup, and as already mentioned, we saw Max Rosam a couple of years ago in the GT4 Germany. His best was in 8th place, so that is by far his best finish in this series, and it's Leighton Fury's best finish as a result of him making his debut this year. Leighton, who's been a champion in everything he's ever entered. So look over your shoulders, Piana and Schrey. So, a moment of reflection, and Alex Connor looks knackered, doesn't he? I think that's been hard work. It's quite warm out here on the Lausitzring. Hard work driving one of these cars. And our championship leaders are going to take a bit of stopping, but it ain't over until it's over. And there's a lot of racing to come. And I'm already going to draw your attention to the next 3 races, because we've got another one here tomorrow. And then after that, we're heading to the streets of the Nürburgring. More of that in a moment. But Jan-Philipp Springhoff and Alex Connor in 3rd place. Some lovely slow-mos. Leighton Fury and Max Rosam in the 2nd place in the BMW for FK Performance. But it's another BMW that's on the top step of the podium, becoming a familiar sight. Gabriel Piana and Michael Schrey for Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport. So yes, another race tomorrow. Our timings are a little bit upside down this weekend, certainly today, because the DTM race that is on the bill here at Lausitzring is running at a different time. That's not running till 5 p.m. this evening, so the GT4 race is earlier. Tomorrow, it's a 3:15 start local time. We'll be on air from about 3:10, and that'll be for race 4 of the season. Then the beginning of July, we head to the streets of Nuremberg. And if you've never witnessed the Nürburgring, you are in for a treat. The narrow streets around the city of Nuremberg. It is very much the jewel in the crown in the season for the ADAC. It's the one that every driver wants to win at, be on the podium at. Last year, we had something in the region of 100,000 spectators watching from the tribune around the Nürburgring, and the GT4 Germany will be making its first ever visit. I'm just listening in as well.
Merck got a penalty, but Shrey was still ahead of us. If you got ahead of Shrey, we would have won. It was so close.
So close indeed. If we had got ahead of Shrey, well, that's easier said than done. What do they say? If my granny had wheels, should be my bike. Yeah, second place, pretty good consolation, I would say. Yes, so first ever visit to Nürburgring for ADAC GT4 Germany. And I think it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be a test for many of these drivers because it's not like any race circuit they have been at before, the temporary circuit in Nuremberg. And great that we can be there as part of the DTM package. Great that we can have Leighton Fury. Now, he and Max Rosam have had experience around the Nürburgring because they were there with the M2 Cup last year, and that may well stand them in very good stead because a bit of experience around that circuit where the lap times are measured in seconds, not minutes, could be worth an awful lot. We've still got another race tomorrow yet, though, and Piana and Shrey will need to do it all again. Tomorrow, that man there, Michael Shrey, will be doing the qualifying, and Piana will be doing the second stint. So it will be a different challenge for that driver duo. And of course, Max Rosam will be qualifying the number 46 car, and Alex Koller will be qualifying the 85 car. Keep an eye tomorrow as well on Finn Zulauf. He will be qualifying car 31, the Avia WNS Motorsport Porsche. He will be the first car that won't have a success ballast on board because Michael Shrey will have an additional 15 kilograms. Well, just leave it on because that's what they had for this one as well. Max Rosam and Leighton Fury will have an extra 10 kilograms of success penalty, and Alex Conner and Jan Philip Springop will have an extra 5 kilograms. They can think about that later. At the moment, they think about stepping on to the third step of the podium. Max Rosam, Leighton Fury, little and large, can think about stepping on to the second step of the podium. The top step, it's a familiar picture at the moment, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. This championship is very much still up for grabs. Piana and Shrey, a familiar sight on the top step of the podium. And one of the team from Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport who will receive the team trophy in just a few minutes. Before all of that, we're going to have a national anthem. So we reflect on a race which has seen an awful lot of overtaking. Our race winners who had to come from 5th on the grid, our second place who had to come from 11th on the grid. The trophy being awarded to our race winners. And Leighton Fury and Max Rosam receiving theirs. You get the feeling that's the first of many in ADAC GT4 Germany for that driver pairing. And Alex Conner receiving his trophy and that's his first ever podium. His best was a 4th here last year. So the best ever result for Alex Connor, highest ever finish. For Jan-Philipp Springop, he's had 4 podiums and 2 wins in the past. He's certainly not had a win here yet, but tomorrow is a new day and it's all very much to play for. What an entertaining race that was. It went down to the last corner of the last lap, and there's a very good bet that it may happen again tomorrow. We're going to send Leighton Fury to Champagne Torpedo School in time for the next time he's up on the podium. But the celebrations start. The 1, 2, 3 celebrate at the moment. We say goodbye from the Lausitzring for this race 3 of the season. Time to go back, but we will be back again tomorrow to do it all again. Join us here at 3:10 local time for a 3:15 kickoff for ADAC GT4 Germany. We'll see you then.